my friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. Today we are going to be installing some HDB, which I believe stands for Highway Dirt Bike, HDB, handguards onto, we're working on a Husky TE 300 today. Now these handguards mount a little bit differently than a lot of your universal handguards you buy for dirt bikes, because these actually use these big giant screws that go into the end of the handlebar, and you have to tap the end of the handlebar. And we'll also be installing these flip up mirrors. Now I don't know, I looked in the packaging and I didn't see any instructions, so we are going to just jump into this. Hopefully we don't mess it up. Now another cool feature about these handguards is that they don't just mount with like a little floppy clamp onto the handlebar like these that I have on my Husky. These actually mount right up to the top handlebar clamp, the triple clamp. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the triple clamp. That's the triple clamp. So you change out the upper handlebar clamp with this, and that's where they mount to. So they come around here, mount to there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install this. Very simple. Remove these 4 bolts. Put this on there. We're going to get that done, and I'll come right back. I got the handlebar clamp replaced there, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the end of our grips off, because you have to have a place for the end of the grip to mount, the end of the handguard to mount. So use a sharp knife and just try to cut the end off as nice and clean as you possibly can, and then we'll move on to seeing about tapping that end of the handlebar. Please enjoy the dancing in the background there. That's my son. Yeah, all right, so once you cut the end of the handguard off, there's a little plastic bit that's kind of in here, a plug. Just pull that out. Now we're ready to use the tap. Now, you could use a crescent wrench to turn this. You could use, if you actually have a whole tap and die set, they make a nice little tool you can put on there. What I'm going to use in this case is, it's called a Whitworth socket. It's a 8-point. I guess you could use a 12-point socket too, find one that fits on there, but these Whitworth sockets are from British bygone era, and I'm going to put it on my impact driver. Let's try to just kind of get this thing started, and then use the impact driver to tap this. And you also want to use some, everything is better in life with a little bit of lube. So we'll put a little bit of lubrication on here. This is actually cutting fluid, but you don't have to use that. If you got WD-40 or oil or whatever, you can do that. And let me bring you back a little bit, so hopefully I don't mess this up, and you can see me not mess it up. Just try to drive it in there nice and straight. And when you're cutting threads, insert, remove. So we're going to take our time. I'm not going to shoot 5 minutes of video on this, but however you do it, just try to get it in straight. It looks like it might be a little bit crooked, so I'll probably back it out and restart it. I'm one of the first people to admit that I mess up a lot. So the impact driver didn't work all that great. I'm using a crescent wrench now, so you can use a socket as well, I suppose. I could probably just grab that Whitworth, put that on my ratchet. There we go. It's taking a little bit of effort here, but the farther in it goes, the easier it gets. I'll bring you back when I get it done. All right, I have taken the liberty of mounting this swivel mount up here. They supply 2 different kinds of mount bolts. You have these that are kind of like, what would you call them? Kind of flush fit, not flush, but round over, and then just regular Allen head ones. So I just use these. They look a little bit nicer. I don't know, maybe it's clearance issues for some people. But with that said, once you're done with your tap and the handlebar, make sure you clean that area all out. If you have an air compressor, you can blow it out with air. If you don't have an air compressor, you could use compressed air can like you use for computers, or You could also just spray in some contact cleaner. You know, turn the handlebar so it's facing down a little bit. Now we're going to take our big screw here. I have it mounted through the hand guard, and we're going to just get this started in here. I've also applied a little bit of oil onto the threads as well after cleaning them up. Anytime you install any kind of hand guards, not just these, you're going to want to not tighten everything up. Like I said, this is still loose up here because they require a little bit of, how you say, finagling to get them to work. So these mounts here have an upper and a lower hole on them, so I'm just going to determine which one is going to look and work the best. Try to get this thing started. It's going to be in a little bit of a pain. There we go. Alright. Get that kind of in. And the end over here is kind of in. Let me take you out of here so you can see what it looks like. And now, yeah, we might want to go lower here, or we might want to raise up this perch there, because everything is going to get kind of tight. Once this gets in here and that gets tightened up, you're not going to have a whole lot of adjustment, it doesn't look like. So I might try putting this on the lower hole, see if that helps to line us up better with these levers, because that's what we get these hand guards for. They protect your hands and they protect the levers. After a short assessment looking at this, I determined I had the swivel on the wrong side. So I took the other swivel, put it on this side. As you can see, it mounts lower. Now you see everything is lined up nicely. This is right in here. I've tightened up the end, tightened up these two. So now all we have left to do is to mount the actual little plastic hand guard. Let's see. Kind of makes sense that way, huh? But the mirror mounts inside of here. So I think we're just going to install this one bolt, and then I'll bring you back and show you the mirror install. This is the hardware kit that comes with these mirrors. And it took me a little bit looking at it to figure out how this all works, because once again, no instructions with this kit. I'm not saying you won't get one, or maybe I won't find it, but what I did is I took the bolt and I threaded it into this little plastic cup, and then that goes through the mirror like that. And then we are going to thread that in from this side. It fits kind of tightly in that plastic half semicircle piece, or whatever you want to call it, cup. So you can just kind of screw it in by hand until it gets far enough in there. Unfortunately, this model here looks like it comes with these flexi style hand grips, which is nice. Let me see if I got the right one here. Oh, of course not. There we go. And now we'll just thread that in. Until it starts to get some pressure on it. And there you go. So it fits up in there like that, and we can adjust the tightness of that. So what you do is you pull this out, and then you can flip it up like that, and then it has adjustability up and down and left and right. But as you can see, it's really too loose right now. Like I said, we can adjust that here, get that to wherever we're happy with it. And then once you have your happy place, just like a Happy Gilmore, go to your happy place, then put your washer and lock nut on the outside. Sorry. There we go. So I can tighten that up and then clean all my greasy fingerprints up. That's what she looks like from the back here. See, it's fits back behind there, nice. The mirror doesn't get broken. I'll finish the other side and we'll come back and just take a quick look at what it looks like completed. The only difference that you're gonna do on the throttle side is once you cut the end of this off, obviously you can't just mount the handguard directly against there because it will limit your throttle grip. So loosen up your throttle clamp and then slide that in until you have just the end of the handlebar exposed here. On some bikes, this throttle tube has a end on it, so you may have to hacksaw or, you know, with a really nice sharp knife cut through the end of the throttle tube. This one didn't have a end cap on it, but slide it over, put your handguard on, and then you bring this over close to but not touching, because otherwise, you know, you could be going wide open and stick it open, and you're going to run into a fence or a tree or something good like that. So we'll be back in a bit. There's my son running away, doesn't want to help me. Thanks for nothing. And the final project, or the final. And from the front, when we put the second one on, it took even a little bit more messing around than this side. So I had to loosen everything up quite a bit, including this swivel mount. This one went on real easy. This one took a little bit more work, but it's all on there. Mirrors work. They're hidden out of the way. It's a really nice setup. All right. If you're liking my content, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, and if you're not already a subscriber, please consider doing so. Thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.